This is the DJI Mic 2, and I made this video to determine whether this is worth your money. On first impression, I really loved the machining of the case. It uses magnets to make the opening and closing process super satisfying, and just like a pair of AirPods, the transmitters and receiver magnetize in to charge. The only problem that I have with the charging case is that this thing really feels like a piece of tech on its own, which it is, but there's really no padding whatsoever that would make it feel like it's drop-proof or very durable. Now, aesthetically, I do like these mics. They're a little bit smaller than the Rode Pros, and they've got this transparent plastic on the front to kind of let you see the technology inside. These things are just plug and play, and they go ahead and start recording whether you're attached to a camera or an audio recording device or not. If you're using these things, you're likely going to want to clip them on, and there's two ways to do that. One, there's like an actual clip, and you can hook it onto your clothing. I'm never a huge fan because it ends up looking like that and it drags people's shirts down and it moves around a whole lot. The second option is there's this little magnet that attaches onto the back, and it seems pretty strong. You can throw this on the inside of your shirt and just magnetize the clip onto the outside of your shirt. And I think it just looks a little bit better. I was a little bit skeptical about the strength of the magnet getting through your clothing to hold this thing on, because the transmitter is actually, it's pretty heavy. I'm gonna see if I can find something that it won't actually magnetize through. Let's see if it'll do this guy. I'll put the magnet on the inside here, and wow, it's dang. That's holding pretty strong. No need to fret about the magnets on these. They're really powerful. Unlike the transmitter, the receiver is actually impressively light. I don't even think that this would throw off the balance of a gimbal if you were to add it on after balancing your camera. It's equipped with a little touchscreen on the front that takes some getting used to, and a precision dial to scroll through the menus if you prefer it that way. I have to say, it's nice to have all of the settings of the mics accessible on the receiver itself, although you'll probably set most of these and just never really touch them again. There is one thing that you'll definitely want to turn on though. These receivers record in something called 32-bit float audio, which basically means that I can talk really, really loud, which would normally peak other types of microphones, which means that you can't recover it and it sounds really jumbled in your editing software. But with 32-bit float, it's basically impossible to peak, and you can go really, really quiet and just pull that up, or you can go really loud right afterwards. It's great, especially for vloggers, content creators, so you don't need to worry about monitoring your audio levels all the time. I mean, there's no downside to it. 32-bit float is basically the industry standard for professional audio these days. But just because there's a lot of information being captured doesn't necessarily mean that it sounds good. So of course, I had to test it. Right now, you're listening on my boom pole, and I've just switched over to the DJI Mic 2, and I'm holding it up close to my mouth. Obviously, this is gonna give you the crispest sound, the best sound you can get. Most people are gonna be getting audio from, probably about this region. You can see how that affects the audio that you're getting out of the microphone. I did get the upgrade or the lavalier microphone that they sell separately, because most people, if you're doing a professional production, you're not going to want to be talking into this thing or have this on your person. You're going to want a more traditional lav mic. The cord's a little short. It's a little bit bulky compared to other lav mics that I've used before. Not the best. So let's do a bit of a comparison. This is listening to the DJI lav mic right up close to my face, and then I'm going to put it where most people are going to be listening to it, which is right around my chest. This is what it's going to sound like in most use case situations where you want the lav mic just attached to the person of your subject. Again, it's not going to be as crisp and clear as keeping it really close to your face, but that's just sort of the rub. It's just sort of how microphones work. And here again is the audio of just the transmitter without the lav mic attached. So I'm editing the video right now, and I just wanted to pause and say that I think that the audio from the DJI Mic 2 alone sounds a lot more full than the audio when you've got the lav mic plugged in. The lav mic gives it kind of a bit of a muffled tone. Overall, it's not a bad sounding mic, but I do think it has a bit of like an electronic tone to it, which is kind of hard to pick up when you're just listening to it on its own, but I will compare it to its best competitor later on in the video, and then you'll be able to see sort of that difference. Also, all of this recording is in 32-bit float. That's just something that's important to know for audio quality purposes. You might think these DJI mics sound great, but that's only one part of the picture. Every good video needs great music and sound effects, and I get mine from today's video sponsor, Epidemic Sound. Epidemic Sound is an online library containing over 50,000 songs and 200,000 sound effects, all of which can be used in your content without ever worrying about copyright claims. It honestly feels like there is no end to the variety of music on this site. There's rock tracks, hip hop, funk, lo-fi, you name it. No matter what project you're soundtracking, Epidemic Sound has a song, or hundreds of songs, that will fit your vibe. They also have state-of-the-art tools designed to help you speed up your edits, like an integrated editing plugin with drag and drop functionality, and a track remix tool that can turn any song into exactly the length you need it to be for your project. If you're wanting to step up your audio game, Epidemic is 100% the way to go. I have been using them for years, and they just keep getting better. I have a link down in the description that'll let you try it out completely for free. I'm sure that you're gonna like it. Thank you, Epidemic Sound, for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to testing the mics. You might be wondering why I'm in my kitchen, and the answer is not that I'm hungry, even though I am. The answer is actually that this microphone has a little feature called noise reduction. I'm kind of skeptical. I don't like computers messing with the audio signal that's coming out of my microphones. I want to be able to have control over that, but I thought I'd test it out. We've got level 1. It's my refrigerator. It's giving you just like a slight bit of hum. This is without noise reduction added on. And now I'm gonna turn noise reduction on. This is what the lav mic sounds like with noise reduction on. Compare it to what we had before, which is noise reduction off. And what do you think? Level 1 was a very small amount of white noise. I don't even think that noise reduction is necessary here. I do notice with the noise reduction added on, it makes my voice sound just a little bit more tinny, like it's removing the deeper end of my voice. Level 2 just kicked on right now, and I put my heater on a lot higher so that we could get the vents kicking air in. This is level 2 without noise reduction. Now let's switch it on. This is level 2 with noise reduction on. Maybe we're starting to see a little bit more substantial of a difference. Level 2 has some serious improvements on the noise reduction. This is sort of like the golden sweet spot, I think, because it completely got rid of the background noise and my voice still sounds pretty clear. Again, you still have a bit of that loss of the low tones in my voice. So it seems like this noise reduction is really just removing those lower tones, those more droning sounds like road noise and that sort of thing. I think it'd be good for that. Now we're talking. We've got the refrigerator, the heater, and the water going at the same time. This is what the DJI mic sounds like with all of this white noise going on in the background. No noise reduction at all. I'm gonna switch noise reduction on in 3, 2, 1. This is what the DJI mic sounds like with its noise reduction on at level 3 of white noise. It's probably a disaster, I'm not gonna lie, but this will give you a good idea of what it can and can't do and the limits of that noise reduction. Personally, I would just rather add noise reduction in post so that I can control it up and down. For simplicity's sake though, it's kind of a cool little feature to add in there. I don't think it makes the product worse in any way because you can turn it off. Once I captured the audio with the transmitter, I wanted to see whether it would be a pain in the butt to transfer these files onto my editing computer. Why isn't this showing up? Let me try just plugging in the transmitter. Okay, that worked. When you plug the transmitter directly into your computer via USB-C, you can remove those files straight from the transmitter like it's a hard drive. It's a small thing, it's like a minor thing, but I wish that I was able to access both the transmitters from the charging case so I don't have to do one at a time. Importing the audio was pretty straightforward, but what if you want it baked into your footage so that you don't have to go and sync it in post-production afterwards? DJI built 3 ways to connect this microphone into your camera of choice. Number 1 is, of course, just your actual DSLR or mirrorless camera. You can take the transceiver or the receiver, I combined them on that one, throw that right on top, and then you simply plug this cable into the top, and all of a sudden this is linked to your camera, and the audio being attached to the video picture from this camera is going to be coming from the DJI mic. The second option is to use it with the camera app on your phone, and all you need to do is take one of these adapters that they have here, whether it's a USB-C phone or a Lightning phone. Mine's Lightning, so I'm just gonna pull that out here, slide this into the bottom of the receiver, take the receiver, plug it into the bottom of your phone, and now the audio from this transmitter should be going directly into the audio from your phone. Finally, there's another option for connecting to an iPhone like this. You don't even need the receiver, you can just connect the transmitter directly to your phone using Bluetooth. Just hold this little linking button down until it starts blinking blue and it'll pop up in your devices. If this doesn't show up right away, you have to hold down the record button and then it'll pop up. For third-party camera apps like the Blackmagic camera app, this Bluetooth microphone will work just fine, but if you're planning on using the native iOS camera app, what you're gonna need to use is the transmitter plus the receiver for the DJI mics. Overall, I think the DJI Mic 2 is an awesome piece of tech. It definitely performs well, and I don't think that you would be disappointed if you bought one. However, at $350, there's a benefit in looking at its competitors as well within this price range, and that is namely the Rode Wireless Pro. First things first, we gotta test the audio. This is audio out of the Rode Wireless Pro, right up close to my face so it sounds good. And this is audio from the DJI Mic 2, held right up close to my face so it sounds good. Which one do you like better? Is it the Rode audio or the DJI Mic audio? This is what it sounds like on the Rode Wireless Pro, and this is what it sounds like on the DJI Mic 2. Again, pay attention to those mid-tones and those low tones. Those are the things that the smaller microphones usually aren't able to pick up on as well. Let me know in the comments which one you prefer better. In my personal opinion, the Rode transmitters definitely seem to have a bit more of like a bass to them. There's a lot more of those lower tones, where the DJIs sound a little bit more, there's just something that's just a little bit more tinny about them, like that. This is what the DJI Lav Mic sounds like. You've listened to it before, but now let's compare it to the Rode Wireless Pro Lav Mic. Which one has a better sound quality for you? Which one's gonna complement your voice best? So once again, this is the Rode Wireless Pro with the Lav Mic plugged in, clipped onto my shirt. And this is the DJI Mic 2 with the Lav Mic plugged in, clipped into my shirt. Now, when you're comparing the Lav Mic attachments of the Rode and the DJI, they actually sound very similar, almost like shockingly similar to me. So on this front, I would say they're pretty much even. Aside from the audio, the Rodes are substantially larger than the DJI mics, although the DJI mics and the Rodes are pretty much the same weight. Plus, Rode is missing out on some of the bells and whistles of the DJI, like the touchscreen receiver, noise reduction, and Bluetooth phone connection. But Rode can store 40 hours of audio versus the DJI's 14, which is a pretty massive difference. And in my opinion, Rode's charging case feels a lot more durable and protective than DJI. They also have locking connectors for the Lav mics, which ensures that the Lav won't accidentally come unplugged during a shoot. DJI doesn't have this, it's just a basic connection. Oh, and Rode includes their Lav mics with the Wireless Pro for a cheaper price than the DJI mics, and you have to buy the DJI Lav mics separately. I'd say if you have to buy one of these to use with a phone, go with the DJI because the connectivity there for mobile is much better than the Rodes. However, if you're using them for more professional shoots, then the Rode is your way to go with those locking connectors. The Rode Wireless Pros are definitely a great alternative, and I have a video up here that'll go into them in depth if you're interested in seeing more about what these things are like compared to the DJIs.